Hey guys, Sensei Adam here from Torakan Dojo. I'm here tonight with a special guest, my dad, Sensei Brian Leung. He's been my instructor for karate all my life. I've been doing it now for 34 years, so he's been doing it way longer. I'm not gonna talk about his age today, right? But I asked him to do this interview with me because we in class tonight we were speaking of kata, and one of the things that parents or people who always want to take up karate but have always had this stigma behind kata. They feel that kata is a waste of time, and for all karatekas out there who do any kind of style of karate, Shotokan, Dojo, Shorin, we realize the benefits of kata. So from somebody who is as experienced as Sensei Brian, I would just like to get his opinion as to, and let him tell you why kata is so very important for karate training, but also on the whole for martial training and self-defense, etc., etc.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me to speak on such a subject. And you are right, a lot of people misunderstand the whole purpose of kata. In fact, most karatekas would have heard this at one time or the other. People who are not familiar with the martial arts, or with karate in particular, would always, sometimes jive you and say, yeah, but if somebody else asks you, what you'll do for them, kata? And by even saying something like that, it shows how much you misunderstand the purpose of kata. Kata was never meant to replace kumite or free sparring as we know it. It was meant to support it. If you go back in history to the origins of many of the ancient kata, what a lot of people don't realize that the movements that you're seeing in a lot of the katas, be it like Gankoku or Nijushiho or any of the really older katas, is that the self-defense moves were first practiced with another partner. But kata is a way of documenting these moves because the written word was not popular. So people would literally try to remember a particular move and practice it over and over. So you get one self-defense move that shows a block and a punch, and then maybe you see another guy that you see a move that he's doing and you like, and you begin to practice that. And then the katas were formulated in that manner.
So in a sense, for those people who, like myself, who do MMA or kickboxing as well, kata is very much like shadow boxing.
To a point, yes, but for me, and I've heard that comparison already, yes, you can say it's like shadow boxing, but for me, kata is even more than shadow boxing, because when you perform a kata, you are in fact, if you really think about the kata, especially if it's one of the older katas that's 100 or 200 years old, you're in fact taking a piece of history there and practicing. You're doing something that a master did 150 years ago, 200 years ago, and you're doing the same movements that he is in fact doing. And on the subject of movements, you have to bear in mind that people get the idea that if a kata starts with a block this way, as the case may be, that it's like if you're going to try to fight in a sequence. Obviously, no random fight takes place in a sequence, and you would know that from not just MMA, even from Jiu Kumite, free sparring in karate. But you can select a particular, from training movements, especially, I don't want to talk about sport karate, I'm talking about self-defense here. Buro karate in particular, where you go for one shot, one kill against an assailant that is trying to destroy you. Is that a particular movement in a kata, it may occur in the middle of the kata, not at the beginning of the kata. But when you attack, that particular movement, because you have been training the kata over and over, you right away will automatically react to the movement and do the appropriate move as the case may be. So in other words, what I'm trying to say is that when you learn the alphabet, you learn A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? And that's the order. But when you're writing, do you begin each word or each sentence with A? Of course not. Sometimes you begin it with D, you begin the sentence with D or F, as the case may be. So, and that's what, or G or H, that's in the middle of the alphabet, as the case may be.
Right.
You don't start with, not every sentence begins with A, right?
Right, yes, right.
The same thing with kata. You don't have to figure, well, this is the first move in the kata. Oh, it could be any part of the kata that you have. To a point, and what this may surprise a lot of people is that what has led to a lot of confusion in the bunkai being the application of kata, is that you automatically feel that, okay, if I'm doing a kata and I jump in the kata, so the master was jumping against a particular attack in kata. No, and that's just it. Sometimes, in fact, especially in traditional karate katas, most times when you see a jump, it's in fact a throw. A block may be a lock. So it does not always appear what you see in the kata to be. When I was like, what a jump is in
right.
fact it could be you are throwing your opponent.
So
right?
there are a lot of hidden things as well.
Yes, but how it came about, where people defined it as a throw, is that long ago when the instructors taught, they never said, well, okay, let's do rise and block. So if I tell you let's do rise and block, then your brain automatically has just figured out, well, Sensei is saying do a rise and block, right? But when the instructors taught long ago, they never said do a block. They would say do this move. So in fact, it is left up to your interpretation, because that block could in fact be an uppercut.
Right, yeah, okay.
But if I tell you do rise and block, then I am labeling it
as a block.
Yes, I'm labeling it as a block. But they never placed the labels on the techniques. They would say, okay, do this move, and then how you interpret it, the block could in fact be a strike,
right?
Or the block could be a lock,
right?
But throughout the years, by instructors labeling the techniques, it has limited your bunkai options. It has limited your bunkai options, you know. And so definitely, as I initially started saying, is that kata was there to support kumite, but there's more than that. Remember, the nice thing about kata, well, I guess in boxing you do that too, in shadow boxing, is that you can train, you can preserve your techniques and go over your techniques by yourself. You don't need another training partner to be able to train your techniques. But as you get older, that becomes even more important, because when you're 20 and you can, bang, bang, rock and stuff like that, and you feel you're invincible. When you begin to age, and you don't have to give up karate. You can still train your karate through your movements, and it's good for your health. It keeps you on fitness. It keeps you nice and flexible, and ensures good movement in your body, good flexibility, good coordination, balance. All of those you get from kata. And by the way, most kata, if performed properly, will in fact take you into your anaerobic mode as opposed to your aerobic mode, because it's done in an explosive manner for a very short period.
So it's like doing high intensity
interval training.
Right, okay, great.
For a short period of time.
Okay, well guys, you heard it from the master himself. Don't be afraid of traditional karate. There are so many wonderful benefits of it. And things were designed in certain sequences, basics, kihon, kata, kumite, all of which will guide you to the top of that mountain in karate, which we're all trying to achieve. So Sensei Brian, thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much guys. And again, if you're interested, pick up a karate class somewhere around you, because I'm telling you, most people that actually do karate and do traditional karate with credible instructors that know what they're doing are amazed by exactly the type of benefits that you can see from it. So
also Adam, on this point, just to finish off, classic examples too. It's a lot of people who are going into even mixed martial arts. It's good to have like a foundation system, a core system, whether it's karate, jiu-jitsu. So because doesn't matter which one of the arts that you do. You by doing one of the original arts, it sets you on the correct martial art path. So if you're doing MMA, it's just now you're incorporating boxing techniques with your karate strikes or jiu-jitsu with your karate. And but the point is that it's like just different parts of the same mountain.
For sure.
Us.
Alright guys, thank you.